Hey guys, it's Megan with Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum. I'm actually holding a camera because I ran into Karen Charles here at H&H. We just had you for an event a couple of weeks ago, which was super fun. But as always, you're doing something awesome. So I asked if we could do a quick video on something cool you can do on some of the Pfaff machines.
So right today I'm working with the felting accessory, and in embroidery I've created a design that I'm felting fabric from. So now you might say, well, why would you want to do it, or how would you do it? Well, let me show you some things I've made. So this is a landscape that I have done, and I've done multiple hoopings, and I'm going to show you how you start a project like this. And really, I rather randomly look up on Google landscapes. If I'm looking for a sunrise, I might just Google what a sunrise looks like, and then I'll lay my colors of roving and fibers down and just kind of follow along with the picture. This was supposed to look like the mountains that are in Vermont, the ski mountains. They didn't really come off quite the way that I intended, but they turned out all right. And then after I've done putting all the basic fabric together, and what I mean by that, there is no fabric. I'm using a wash-away stabilizer, and I'm laying roving. This is an example of what roving is like. It's just fibers, and I lay them down where I think I want them, and then I'm going to put another layer of Aqua Magic or a wash-away stabilizer on top, so that it's going to not catch in the foot of the fiber. And when I take this down, I'm going to show you a work in progress, and then we'll stop and we'll see how I started the process, okay? So I'm just going to put this down.
Sounds perfect.
And I'm going to stop my machine. And the way my machine is set up, there's a felting needle and the felting accessory that's in there. And this is covering the feed dogs and stopping some of the fibers from going down. And the little plastic that's around the ankle instead, that is to protect the needle, to keep it stable. And now when we look at my fibers, this is what I'm doing. There's my Aqua Magic torn off, and you can see some of the fibers haven't been set down yet. When I originally did this, I made a quilt design with lines of parallel lines of stitching, and when you're setting up for a felting design, there is no thread. There's no thread in the upper machine, there's no thread in the bobbin. But the needle's going up and down, and the little felting needle's got barbs in it, and it causes the fabric to mat together to create a brand new piece of fabric, or the roving to go together to create a brand new piece of fabric. And if I don't like what I've done, like this, it went up and down and did all of that and kind of felted all the fabric, and then I take the top off and I look at it. If I don't like it, then I just add some more pieces to it. I'll come back in and I'll add some more things over here. Same thing with the sky. So as it's going, right now it's going back and forth this way and felting all these fibers. You can see it's gotten to here. This I've just laid down on top. And so it's going to do that. And after well, let me put it this way. The fun thing about doing felting is you really don't have to pay too much attention because there's no thread, and I let it run. And if I decide afterwards I really don't like it, I'm going to put more layers of fiber on top. I'll usually like kind of hold it up to the light, and if I see there's areas where I can see the light coming through, I might need to add some more roving to it. But I can keep working on this as many times as I want to. When I did this on this big landscape, I was able to kind of decide how much I wanted to do, and after I finished getting the material made more or less the way I wanted, then I went in with free motion and used the felting needles with free motion to add some of the details of the flowers, maybe some shading on the rock that I wanted a little more detail to. The other thing you can do is you really can create three-dimensional objects. This is a hat that I made. Originally, this was a flat piece of fiber that I made out of the roving, and it only fits my head because I've got a small head here, but I think it turned out pretty cute.
Super cute.
And then I've created some of these flowers. Now when it comes to creating something like the flowers, usually what I'll end up doing is I'm just going to take some colors of roving that are in similar shades. So I might have some orange and some pink and some red, and I'll cover it with the Aqua Magic, right? And that's the Pfaff stabilizer that's kind of like a fabric because it's not affected by humidity. And lay it on top, and then I'll use the exact same design. It's not like there's a special design to do this. It's just rows of straight stitch up and down and side to side. And then after that, I cut the piece out into a circle And then in free motion, I added in more detail. I added in some roving in the middle, and I even added in some yarn, some like, you know, eyelash yarn in the middle, and did that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I attached the stem on the back with the felting needles, and I just felted it through like this. There is a technique for using them in free motion, and I'm definitely going to be sharing that in the weeks to come on my Facebook Live, so you'll get to see a little bit about that.
Oh, way
and
cool.
Here's another example of something else that I did in free motion. And so it started out with just me using the white fibers and making the base of the mushroom. And there was somebody that was doing a class online, and I watched it and I thought it was so much fun, so I kind of mimicked that. But there's so many different ways of using our felting accessory. If you've never tried it, you really should give it a try. Now the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back in, all right, and make sure the foot is up. And if I decided that I wanted to add more roving, I could kind of pull it up. Let me see if I'm just going to grab over here some different fibers. Well, I'm not going to use orange, that's for sure. But whatever it is, I just kind of lay it down and place it. Like maybe I want a little more detail in the water, right? So I might just kind of loosely pull some fibers and just leave it where I want it. And you know, if you find that you're not an artist or you're having a hard time figuring out what you want it to look like, by Googling a picture, or maybe you've got like a lake house or your own house or something like that, you know, a landscape that's from far, by just kind of Googling some pictures, get an idea. You don't need to come up with this by yourself. I am not an artist. All I do is I copy what I see. So that's what I've done with a lot of this stuff, is I'll look up a picture of a mushroom, or I'll look at a picture of what a poppy looks like, and then that gives me an idea of where I want to add the highlights and what I'm doing. And then the last thing I'll do is take my Aqua Magic, place it down on top, and then press the start button. Remember, there's no thread in the bobbin, no thread on top, and all it's doing is going, and the barbed needle is going up and down and felting your fabric.
That's just so cool.
Isn't that wonderful?
So do you usually do this on like my Sonnet to digitize the picture,
or
it's just the same thing over and over?
In the gold level and the platinum level, they have the Quilt Block Wizard.
Oh, okay.
So what I do is I just fill the hoop with cross hatching, and then I change the length of the stitch. Instead of a 2, I bring it down to a 1.5, and then I'll make the lines so close together. So usually the lines come up at a 5 millimeters apart. And so I changed that to a 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
So then you just got lines, the needle's going up and down really close to, each line is really close to each other. Here's another one that I've done. And then I just took a fabric mat, and the fabric mat was kind of old and run down and looked a little gray. So I just took some metallic paint and just rubbed it with you know, one of those foam brushes. This only took a minute or two to do, and it kind of created some artwork. So
it's gorgeous.
Give it a try sometime, and make sure you get out your felting needles and give it a try. And if you don't, you know where to find your felting accessories.
Yeah, so
go in and pick it up.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for showing us, Karen.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited I got to see you again here at the show.
It was great to see you too. We've had a lot of fun, haven't we?
Absolutely.
All right,
So,
well, nice
all
to
right,
see you
guys.
all.
Well,
Bye.
we'll see you next time. Hey guys, here at Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, we always like to make sewing fun start here. And so we appreciate you watching this video. If you want to see more like it, check out this playlist. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know what is happening here. So we'll see you guys next time.